Thanks for coming. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for staying away. Big thank you to Derivatives, to TouchDesigner for coming, and big shout out to Boyd and Conceptual, everybody who made this happen. I think it's a very big day for Irish nerds. And yeah, it's been an incredible event. Really such a pleasure to be part of, so thank you. My name is Phelan. I'm a multidisciplinary artist working across multiple mediums, including AI, 3D animation, and live interactive technologies. My work, kind of in a nutshell, explores what it means to be human in an era of kind of algorithmic influence and technological advancement. So I'm going to be focusing just on one project called Surrogate Bodies as a kind of case study of integrating AI and TouchDesigner into a live interactive installation. So,
Are you going to use this?
No.
No?
The video is...
Are you split locker or church?
Yeah, this other ones are working with the...
It's meant to play, isn't it?
Let's say this file for some reason.
Big one.
Well, that'd be nice to know, huh? Maybe it's... Could you tell me? That's it.
Taking the string instead of jerk. Yeah.
Okay, moving. Yes, we go. Okay, amazing. So, Surrogate Bodies is an interactive installation that delves into the complex relationship between identity, control, and ownership in the digital age. So it has the kind of hopes of, I guess, highlighting the ethical concerns and vulnerabilities that come with digital representation. So as you'll see here in the video, as viewers enter the space, my face and my AI-generated face is overlaid onto their body, effectively turning them into a kind of digital surrogate. So kind of focusing on the face a lot in my work as this kind of link between our online and offline identities. And in this work specifically to examine the role of biometrics and facial recognition technologies and their kind of increasing prevalence in our daily lives. So the installation was also accompanied by a 10-minute narrative. It was a kind of inner monologue, I guess, of a future version of myself who decides to get cryopreserved. I did my thesis on transhumanism and cyborgism, and the kind of biggest concern for me in this area is like the reanimation process and the kind of loss of control with that. So I wanted my viewer in real time basically to provide the body that would reanimate this version of myself. Very, very Frankenstein. So I kind of wanted the talk to follow my actual workflow. So usually I start with the concept, then I try to grasp for kind of technical solutions that will help me bring that to life. And I kind of, it could be a question, a thought, a feeling, whatever, but it usually is about diving in. And then once I get kind of my hands-on experience with the tech, it's just allowing that kind of re-inform the idea, so it turns into quite a cyclical process. So I think not staying too rigid in any of that, in any of those areas, means that the tech can be really kind of seamlessly integrated into the work rather than feeling like an afterthought. So in this case, the concept came from a lot of research I was doing into facial recognition tech and biometric data, which is it's under GDPR law considered a special category of data because, as I have underlined, it's not possible to replace your face in the way that you can, change passwords and bank details. And whenever was freakishly going on in my brain, I was just like, my imagination was lit up like that. And I was like, what would a world like that look like? And how would that even work? And initially then I obviously started thinking about deepfakes. And then I thought, is there a way to do that live? So I knew with adding in interactivity, I had used TouchDesigner previously in projects with Connect sensors and taking in kind of webcam data. So I knew it would have some part to play, but I didn't quite know how. And then this video happened, which Mark Jones is quite responsible for. Big shout out to Mark for nerding out, keeping me up to date on some new tools. But as you can see here, once I kind of realized that you could get Stable Diffusion running live in TouchDesigner, it was the total game changer for this project. So here I have my body running Tom York's face. And this brought up like a whole host of questions and feelings. And I look happy, but I was feeling very strange. And it just brought up so much for me. A lot of uncomfortability and kind of feeling like I was puppeteering somebody else's body and without their knowledge. And that really just lended itself to the conceptual side of the work that I was thinking. I once again instantly thought, like, how do I do this with myself? So that's what led to this process, this workflow. It's just a quick overview, but basically I figured out I needed to generate training images to create LORA, get that working in Stable Diffusion live in TouchDesigner, and integrate that with web input to overlay on the viewer's position in space. So starting with training data, I've done a lot of this kind of like 360 video for photogrammetry, except the difference with this is that the system kind of benefits from like differentiation. So seeing a lot of different facial expressions or backgrounds, so basically like 85% of the training data was from one day, and then the bottom kind of line I just drew it to represent some kind of like left of field images to get a different hair color, different position, and was all just kind of informed by different tests. But I guess like most data sets, like the more scenes or more differentiation it has, the more accurate it's going to be. So then basically use these training images to create a custom LORA on my own face. LORA is the low rank adaptation, and it helps make really big, complicated machine learning models more suited for specific use cases. And in other words, basically a way of teaching Stable Diffusion to focus on really specific styles or subjects. If anyone doesn't know what Stable Diffusion is, it's a generative AI model that allows you to create images from text prompts. I was really didn't find myself leaning to that form of art making. I didn't feel like there was enough of me in the work. So I guess this is a result of me trying to put me in that process. Just being able to kind of have granular control over it, I guess took it away from image generation and more into creating different kind of simulation image with much more interesting to me. So when I had the training data, then the next process was blink captioning, which automatically generates text descriptions of images that you feed it, which, if you can see here, it says Ainsling P, the girl with the fake face and a fake hair. So it's not always very reliable. So to go into all those text files and rewrite to kind of tell the image what it actually is seeing to fine-tune the model. And then use that in Koya, which is an open source interface. Basically just allows you to fine-tune like pre-existing Stable Diffusion models without having to code everything from scratch. So thank you, Koya. So once the model was trained, I was able to then, you see small writing over here, like put my own name in as a prompt in Stable Diffusion in TouchDesigner. This version is just being run by an animated noise style, which we just make the images change over time. But the next stage, moving to interactivity, was switching to the live webcam output. So when you combine the prompt with the webcam, the model is basically trained to find my face in everything that it sees. And TouchDesigner, excuse me. TouchDesigner really became the kind of glue that kind of let these systems speak with one another. So we had real-time input, machine-generated imagery, and interactivity, all kind of working together to create a cohesive install. Then some fine-tuning. I was working on it and I was like, oh yeah, perfect, this looks like me. And I was like, well, because it is you. So I need to test it with other people. So I got some people in my studio to kind of come in. This is where the fun really started. Playing like different seeds and some different things that would kind of change the final output. And then, sorry, my phone.
You want a banana?
So that's playing around basically led to the generation actually of the 2 side videos. So I spent a load of time, I was just fascinated by this process. I just spent a lot of time like me in my studio with the webcam, putting it like everywhere, like my mouth, with my eyes, and it just came out with some really interesting footage from that. So I think a really interesting part of these kind of installs is that like you're actually relying so much on the space because it's a direct replication of what it's seeing. So it really only became to kind of come together once I got the install going. And yeah, so basically for technical challenges, I don't know if I'd like pushed them out of my brain. I was like, I thought there was more. There definitely was more. I wasn't able to think of them, but it was very daunting. It was very daunting, like not knowing anything about training a data set or blip captioning or God. Sorry, I've been drinking water all day, so yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, very daunting, which, you know, having someone like Mark to answer my emails at 2 a.m. in the morning that I scheduled to 8 a.m. so he didn't know I said that too. I just like, yeah, make the whole thing kind of possible. There was some system requirements issues, but I think with the way that the work actually works, the kind of jitteriness of it just played into it. One thing was the kind of lack of control, which is funny because this whole work was about control, but having to relinquish a certain amount of that. So just not knowing what most people actually experienced of the work was really interesting. So I kind of relied on the 2 side screens for me to kind of have that control over the rest of the system. But yeah, my aim for the work of, I guess, my practice at large is to kind of use my practice as a testing ground for that kind of bridges the gaps between the general public and these like increasingly complex and kind of progressively sophisticated technological advancements, and also kind of highlight all of the power imbalances and ethical concerns that come with them. So I wanted to do this in a way that doesn't just instill fear, but also kind of encourages curiosity, which I think the interactivity really allows me, while kind of informing people and hopefully empowering them to have their own opinions. So yeah, I've really enjoyed exploring TouchDesigner to kind of create these immersive installations, and just really excited for what other kind of ideas like concepts it will help me bring to life in the future. So thank you. Thank you for your time.